There's a reason you understand English, but you can't speak it. I'm going to show you how to turn comprehensible input into useful spoken output. Science tells us we use a different part of our brain to recognize words when we see them or when we hear them than the part of our brain that's used to recall words and put sentences together and speak. What you're likely doing is getting a lot of input. You're doing a lot of listening, you're studying, you're watching videos, so you're getting a lot of input, but you're not getting enough output. You're not speaking English enough. And the more you practice speaking, the more automatic it becomes. I'm Leanne, and I'm here to help you learn to speak English out loud. Let's get your mouth and your brain warmed up by saying a little phrase that's an analogy about learning to swim. The phrase is, you can watch videos and hold your breath, but to learn to swim, you must get wet. Let's say it together again. You can watch videos and hold your breath, but to learn to swim, you must get wet. You have to jump in. One more time. You can watch videos and hold your breath, but to learn to swim, you must get wet. Now let's jump into speaking English. You should practice speaking English every day to get better. If you don't have anyone to speak with, it's easy enough to do this little exercise, and you can do it at an easy, medium, or difficult level, depending on how good your English is right now. So let's take a walk around and start describing things. The easy level is to describe simply perhaps just the color. For example, this shirt is blue. Or you can just say what the thing is. This is a t-shirt. Anyway, instead of me trying to explain it, let's just walk around and do it. Okay? We'll start right here. This is the view I have from my porch. So right here, I see two big comfortable chairs with striped cushions. So you could say that, or you could just say, I see two white chairs. And what would you call this up on the wall here? This is a sun sculpture, I guess it is, or some sun art. And over there, what do you see? I see a Canada flag, and I see a pin board. I don't know if you know what a pin board is, but this board has all kinds of curling pins on it from all across Canada and different parts of the world that my sons and my husband have collected over the years of curling. Back in the porch, there's a fan in the corner, and there are some kayak paddles hanging on the wall. So you could describe them. You could say there's a black paddle, an orange paddle, and a yellow paddle. And look behind the door. There's a painting of a seagull that I did when I was young. Over here we have a table, a white table, and we sit there when we have our dinner on a nice evening. We'll probably sit there this evening. And there's a bench along by the windows with more striped cushions. And this table can extend. We had it open the other day. There are two leaves. You call those leaves. When you open the table, you can pull it open and put two leaves in it to make it larger. What else do we have? We have some more wicker chairs with cushions. And over here there's, I think we call that a day bed. You could lie down there and have a nap, or it provides more seating when we have a bunch of people around. Let's go inside and see what else we can see. Heading into the main part of the cottage, we have a bunch of license plates, old license plates on the wall from PEI, Prince Edward Island, one from Ontario, more PEI ones, and a couple of briar ones that a friend made for my husband. So as we go into the kitchen, you can see we have a wooden floor in the kitchen at the cottage. And over here are some cupboards and the stove. We have an electric stove here, which is common in Canada. At our house that we used to have, we had a gas stove, but electric ones are most common. And here are some utensils in a bin. And here's where we have our paper towels hanging. That's butter in a dish. Over here we have a sink, and there's a window that opens into the living room area here, because the living room was an addition. The cottage was smaller before. There's a sink and a drying rack. There's some knives. They're attached to a magnet there. So you could just walk around your house and describe things using the level of language that you know. There's another opening into the back hall because, like I said, we put an addition on. This was a small cottage. Still is, but it was even smaller. There's our refrigerator. We have some pictures on there. And over here, what have we got hanging on here? A lobster, ladybug, another ladybug. It's kind of the stuff that you hang up in your cottage. Have some cookbooks down there. And on this big, we call that a sideboard, we have some canisters with oatmeal and sugar and lentils and chia seeds and coffee. And up here we have some cutting boards and some bowls and some different types of coffee pots and kettles. And then on the next shelf we have various wine glasses, and over here a couple of fire extinguishers and some bowls up top and some big pots up above there in our loft area. And on the ladder to the loft there's some kind of a crane animal here, and this one's a turtle. And then over here is a clock and some art. Those are geese and a cabin and some trees. There's a pot that has nothing in it. And this is a little thing that tells us the weather, the temperature. And that's our microwave stand. So what do you have in your kitchen? Do you have a microwave? What kind of stove do you have? Do you have a refrigerator that's big like this, or some countries they just have sort of half-size smaller refrigerators? Do you have a gas stove, or do you have an electric stove? Tell me a little bit about your kitchen and walk around and just say the things that you know. And if there's something you don't know, use Google Translate or ChatGPT and find out what it is so that you can learn it. And then say it out loud to help you remember it. There's the door I came in through, and this part of our kitchen, we have a bookshelf in the corner, and we have a couple of chairs here, comfortable chairs, to sit and chat if someone's cooking and you want to just watch them instead of helping. Got a little basket of blankets if it gets cool, and a little basket of teddy bears that we had down from the loft because our grandson was here the other day. And here's some picture of some Havaianas that I got when I was in Brazil one time. From the kitchen we can go into the living room area. I guess it's living dining room because here's the table where we sit if it's cold out and we want to be inside. And I have a piano stool here, but I don't have a piano. But it's kind of a cool stool. It's got these glass feet at the bottom. So if you have something, try to describe it if it's a little bit different. This is a stool with glass feet. And there's a train set in the box there, but we didn't actually get that out when my grandson was here because he was more interested in some other toys. I have two white love seats, one here, there's a table in the middle, and one on the other side. And here's a piece of art. So this is a painting that my friend's mother made for us as a wedding gift. And there, I think you can see it's kind of an abstract kind of leaves and things. I quite like it. And we didn't have this cottage at the time, but it really suits this cottage too. There's the window that looks through to the kitchen. And look, we have a couple of penguins here hiding behind the tissues. And there's an old school stereo with a turntable that we listen to sometimes on Fridays. We do vodka and vinyl and listen to records on Fridays and have drinks. Here's a little gallery of some of our family, our kids and our parents and grandparents. There's a clock and a big white mirror on the wall and some kind of little bird sculptures there. Another clock. So you could, if you're trying to practice speaking, you could say, oh, this clock says 6 o'clock. So you could get into those kind of details. Or this clock, which isn't running right now, time on this clock is 7 o'clock. And here's another piece of art that I have here. Try to get a shot of it without a reflection. It's a painting that I bought when I was in Bali, and I carried it around in my backpack and brought it home. And then I was living in Ottawa at the time, and I went and had it framed there. I really like this piece of art, and it's not very cottagey, but I like it, so I have it up at my cottage. What else can I tell you? You can describe things like how many of something there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 windows along the side, and those windows have blinds. And then there's one big window at the front, and that window has curtains. So just walk around your home and describe what you can see. Outside there, I can see the neighbor's garage and his truck. So walk around your house and describe the things that you see, and describe them in the amount of detail that you're capable of, and try to go a little bit farther. If there's something you don't know, try to look it up and then learn how to say it. The next level you can go is describing things that you've done. So today I did 2 loads of laundry and hung them on the line. And I worked on my video. I finished editing it this morning, and I posted it on YouTube. What else did I do? I did some tidying up around here. I did a little bit of gardening. So if you're trying to think of what things you can say out loud, describe what you did today, or describe what you're doing right now. Right now, I'm sitting out on my back deck talking to you. And now I'm sitting right back where I started, out in my front porch. So did that give you an idea of what you can do? That was basically comprehensible input because I was doing all the talking, but I was describing things in my house. So for you to get some output and some speaking practice, you could put this video on mute and watch it again and describe some of the things that you see in my house, or you could just walk around your own house and start describing the rooms, describing things you see, where you got them, what you know about them. You could describe what you did today, this morning, this afternoon. You could describe what you did on the weekend. You could describe what you're doing right now. So all of that is good practice for speaking. Remember to practice speaking a little bit of English every day. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll get, the more automatic it will become, and in no time you'll be fluent. If there's something in particular you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comments, and please tell me where you're from. I like to know where people are watching from. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.